gamma. And now we have over here one that's actually wired up, and you can see the gamma is wired, and I have, yes, one little tiny NeoPixel on that. And this is the only thing I had working for 4 days. So let's power it up, and you can see the genius of the effort that this was. And so we will now plug this into the Apple, and you can see that the beautiful NeoPixel goes red, green, blue. And that was all that I had done. And so now we'll go over the exciting challenges of getting this far.
Well, from this, I know you can get the whole string to work.
And then, well, actually, we'll get to the end fast.
Oh,
we have the big string working also, but it took me until this morning to get it to work. All week I couldn't get it to work. You can see now, and this is the vibration sensor that they wrote code. This is your flame walker simulation, so this would be on your shoe.
And this is not the same color. You cannot control the color.
It'll keep changing actually. Right? The more you jump, the hotter it gets.
Oh, I can do the jump for you.
That's right. See, it's starting to get really red now. But yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so
I see. You want to
yeah, I'm not sure that code is really that great. Okay. But so now that we've seen the final product, let's talk about how to get there. And this is with some pain for me. But so back to, you start with the little gamma here, and I plug it into my Apple computer, and so I'll actually start from the very beginning and open one. Yes, I had my scissors are over there across the room. Otherwise it would be better. So now, I'm going to take the little gamma and plug it into make sure you have a real USB cable and not a charging USB cable. This one does data. Most of the ones you buy today are only for charging, and so you have to be very careful to have one that actually works.
How do I distinguish that?
I don't know. I just buy them from people that say that they work. But if you buy them from like Walmart or something, it may just be a charging cable. And if you ask really nice, there's one in the box that will work. You might be able to take that home. So I'm going to plug this in, and you can see that it has the cool little LED on it. And that cute, cool little LED is not a NeoPixel. It is a dot, which is yet another standard God-given strength that they came up with. And you can see that their base code has it rotating through different colors. So that's about as far as you can get without software.
That is, you do nothing, just plug in the power.
Oh, it's actually doing something. But let us talk about what it's actually done already. And so what it has already done, and that will now switch back to the screens on the Apple, is we'll get to the Finder up. This is the standard Apple Finder. And you'll notice that, and we can see that up there yet, that there is now a Circuit PI device on here. Okay. And this is actually the disk drive of this fine piece of hardware we're holding. And so this is actually the program running, and they have the library, Windows drivers and stuff, and this is the base setup. Okay?
This is what you downloaded.
No, actually this came on the little chip.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And so it came on the little chip. So that came on the little chip. So this.
Oh, okay. You connected it.
Yeah, so this. Yeah, now you got it. Yeah. So now this comes with a README file, which tells you that this is a beautiful gamma from Lady Ada and Company. It comes with Windows drivers 7.
We don't care.
Yeah, who cares about that? And a library of .star Ada HID and NeoPixel, which is a good one for us. The Ada HID actually contains a keyboard. This crazy little piece of hardware can pretend to be the keyboard also. So we're going to continue on. This is the camera that we just opened the bag from. We literally bit it open, and so, and this is how it starts. And it has all of this stuff in here. Now, of course, all of this is the wrong version, and needs to be updated. And so you have to go download all of that. But actually, I learned that this particular version will actually run some of this stuff. So then you need an editor to talk to it. Of course, why use any of the other IDEs that are already available when you could download your IDE? And so welcome to Moo.
Moo?
Yeah, Moo, and I'm just making sure it's up there. Let me close all my little code here that I was working on earlier.
Oh, Moo?
Moo, the Moo editor.
Oh.
Yeah, Mu.
Oh,
Mu. Yeah, so Mu here has to be downloaded and installed. And you'll notice it's a lovely beta version and stays up most of the time. So now it is actually able to talk to our piece of hardware here automatically. And so we'll actually bring up a serial. And what is actually happening, you can see it. I'm just making sure it's on the screen.
This is what happened over there.
And so it is actually currently reading the come right in, grab the one right behind it. And so so what it's doing as a default code, and that's how you know it works. Now watch the screen here as I touch which one of those? I can't remember which one. It has a capacitance. Oh, it's yeah, so it actually so it can actually do a capacitance check. And so it actually knows that I touched it. So that's built in also.
So now, when these go on the sneakers, they'll actually be touched with like what, little rubber feet buttons, something like
No,
that?
actually, you actually just hook wires to it. There's a little restart button right here. And this one here, because it's modern technology, actually has an off switch on it finally.
Well, so
It says little tiny off switchers. And you'll notice that I rebooted it right now, so it's just redetecting it. So now it's running, the temperature of the CPU is 28.2 Celsius right now.
Whoa.
And so it's running a little that little square on there is actually a little microcomputer about the size, about the strength of a VIC-20 back in the old days. So that's
8 bits?
Yeah, it's a little 8-bit M0 in there. So it's actually quite a nice setup. Yeah, so this was all I know really interesting. So now,
is that only one can touch, know the touching?
yeah, well, you just write the program for it. So now let us actually, now, interestingly enough, because this is a drive, we actually can go bring up the program that is running on it, which is the source code supplied by Lady Ada and Company. And so this is the program that actually is running currently on there. And what I mean by that is, and this is Python. I know you're disappointed. It's all Python. And so to demonstrate that that it really is here, I will say touched again, and I will just save that code back down to the machine.
Oh, the same is a flash into it.
There,
Okay.
and then I will bring the serial back up.
What's the
And
serial
you'll
mean?
notice that when I touch A2 this time, it says touched again. So I've actually changed the code and loaded it right
You
on.
just changed the message.
Yeah, I just changed the code. Yeah, but I can demonstrate that the code just downloads directly to our Python device here. So this is our cool piece of Python, and this is the thing we recommended for the shoes. Now, let's now move. Now, and here's the interesting thing. If I unplug it, it's not there anymore. It will be
So what load to do it?
Load will find nothing to do because there's nobody.
Because you don't have it over there.
Is this another one?
That's a different one. We'll talk about him in just a minute.
What location you want to put in the shoe?
You want to put it right on the side.
On the side, yeah.
Yeah, like on a strip.
Yeah, I do want this.
So now we're going to
Yeah.
go to our little tiny, this is all I had working yesterday. And until today, I actually got everything to work because actually all my wiring was bad. And that was very disappointing to me. So eventually, this one is wired correctly. And I will tell you the secrets of wiring that I have learned. But this was the only thing I could get working yesterday. You'll see that it uses extremely exciting code to change colors. And that is all it does is change colors. And you notice the wheel is frozen also, the little LED there, because I haven't cleared it. So this code is basic. And what I mean by basic is we can even bring it up. So getting rid of this, back to our screen here of code, we can now forget this because that's on that device over there, not over here. So we need to go open the device again, and this gets a little confusing. So I go over here, come back to the, oh look, another one, and look, this one has a different set of stuff on it because that's a different piece of hardware. And this was actually, I upgraded this one's software already, and the dire hope that that would make things better 2 nights ago. And so here is the code that we're running here. And this is an extremely unexciting code. And all it does is
now, is that code you wrote? Or
yeah, I wrote. Let's say that I harvested this code from people, and then I wrote some of it. And so this is the, and it's trying to talk to 5 neopixels, and it's got 1.
Neo.
Yeah, neopixels. It used to be. There was a previous version called Pixel, which was not successful. And so these are the neopixels.
So you say 5, only 1.
Yeah, I only have 1. I didn't really care too much about it. However, you will notice that this code has a loop on it.
Yes.
So we can actually watch the serial again. And
Serial is wrong.
So would I be able to touch this?
It won't actually pay attention to that.
Okay.
You got to see
Because you have it.
I didn't write the code. I took the replaced the code.
Okay.
That would be this one.
That
Yeah,
one.
and it might be a good idea to put them tags on.
Manhandling all this stuff now. Aren't you worried about ESD? Or?
No, these are hardened.
Oh.
This is, yeah.
So does that one touching still work?
No, I didn't program it in. I could put the code in for it. It's only a couple lines ago. But the next challenge we should talk about on these fine machines is back to these. So this one is counting how many times when it reaches 100 it starts over.
But here you said the number over this one's a 5.
Yeah.
So it has a 5, but you only did 1.
Yeah, so I only have 1. It's trying to update 4 non-existent pixels. Slow. So we can, and if you'd like to see it run with correctly,
yeah,
we can just put the 1 there and save the code back to it, and it will now have different code. And now it'll flash faster because it's no longer trying to do 5. And you'll watch my loop will go faster.
Are these the little guys that'll go on the strip?
These are the same as what's on the strip.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. So we should hold those up, so people can see them. So these. When I just need to get mine.
Those are the pixels.
I need to get
it's just enough like this is the long one.
So these are the pixels. This is a breakout board. You actually break it.
Oh, you don't need to.
And then you can, and these are, each one of these is separate pixel, neopixel. You can take these, wire them up, or use the sewing stuff and sewing them on.
Yeah.
And yes, you may.
This is like the pills.
And then you have to basically solder wires in between,
Yes.
right?
And if you'd like to actually be able to see them, use the. I can't believe that won't work easily.
Okay. Yeah,
So this is Garrick. This is what you
I think it'll
could
break.
make the little flower or something, put it in the middle,
Okay.
right?
So-
That's what that and
So
add and fruit
actually,
again. They have the flower, have the logo flower, and inside
So-
I think it's this
so
one.
if we'll get
Yeah.
back to
Let's
the
go.
back to the adventures. So we have a single neopixel lit up here, and it's also counting, so it's talking to us, so I know that it's actually alive. And that had to do with a lot of paranoia on my part, since nothing was working. I started had it tell me it was doing things. So let's move on to now. So you just code directly onto them.
Where's the entry point? Do you have a name?
This is, the code's name is code. It is the main. Yeah, and when it exits, so we can actually make it exit sooner. We can have it, when it exits, it will print end of the program, and then the REPL, which is the monitor, will come back and say, would you like to reload the program?
Oh, you can end it. I see you're looking 2 hours
Yeah.
loop.
And actually, I have a break. This one right here. It's a 1,000 break.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so now, and I know that, now let's go to the next NeoPixel, so we'll unplug that one. And this is the one that I finished only an hour ago. And I rewired everything 4 times, threw everything away a couple times. So if you are over 40, you will know what this is. This is wire wrap wire. And it's designed for hand building circuits.
Then I'm younger than 40.
And you have,
I don't know this.
a lot of people, you have to be over 40, and even then you might not know it.
Well, you
And then-
have assembled something.
Yes, and so this is what we used to do before we had breadboards that were really nice. We used to wire everything point to point, and we used a tool called a wire wrap. But the neat thing about wire wrap wire is it's really thin, and one of the problems I had with this wire, you can see it already, is if I pull hard enough, if I bounce this hard enough, it's going to rip right out because the wire itself is too heavy. And that's actually what happened to the previous long strip. Is all the wires pulled out of it, and I was unhappy.
Even though it was soldered on, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, and so they are more fragile with more weight. So I went to wire wrap wire, and so for our friends, we will bring back up our camera so we can show that. So we have little tiny wire wrap wire, and it's really tiny soldering. And then so now this is the example from the book, if you like, the website, the Flame Walker with the gamma stuff. And I put all this together just 2 hours ago or less, and it all worked. I went and redid everything from scratch, and it all worked this time. So I had a wiring problem in the previous 2 versions.
Hardware problem.
Yeah, so on loose, not behind the keyboard kind of problem. And
Call
so,
that PEBCAT.
yeah, so now this one here is the actual circuit we talked about.
Oh, no. Is that you set it to blue? The other
Oh,
one
we
is
had, may have already lost it.
Uh-oh. I didn't do
green.
It was working earlier.
that. You warned me.
There it goes.
Oh, yes. That's a secret. You can see
Now it took
this
a
one.
moment for it to boot. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that, at least I'm using it as the excuse.
Wow.
And you can see, the more you shake the vibration, the hotter it will get.
Where's the red? I shake it with the
You have to shake it kind of. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Purple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so,
cool.
and so this, if we can stop for a moment, my dear, we'll put it down for a minute. So this is the NeoPixel strips that we talked about. And let me bring up, so back to, I'm going to bring up the code for this. And so now we will once again hit the load button. And you'll notice that we have the code, the Firewalker code, and the old code, because we started renaming. Now, these cool little things have about 1K of space on them.
Oh, wow.
So putting comments in your program is not a good plan right now, because
That'll
every-
eat up your
everybody is
storage
running.
space.
Yeah, so that's right. Yeah, but noticing everybody is keeping them compressed.
Probably not much.
Yeah, so anyway, so here is the code that runs this, and this is directly from, as you can see, the Firewalker sneakers. So this is actually her code, the gal who did the video. So I went and got her code, and I was able to load it all up.
Did you get a license?
I do. It says it is for use, and so it doesn't have a license on it. So, and it has 14 pixels on it, which is actually the count of
14
NeoPixel. So I changed the code to have 14 in it, and it's D1. By the way, every time I load another person's code to do this thing, for another example, they change which pin they're using on this silly gamma. So you'll have to, it's D0 or D1 or D2, and they keep changing it all the time. And so your code no working if you're sending the signal to the wrong pin.
Oh, I see.
And you may not notice that for a while, and so you suddenly think that your wiring is bad. And the sad part is by the time you mess with it long enough, your wiring is bad.
Is there a hair? Is there a hair in there, or is that a very super fine wire?
That's a super fine wire. Some quality assurance fixed the NeoPixel
I
after
see.
they made it. And so,
I see.
it
And
wasn't-
the
Okay.
left his hair.
It wasn't
That's
me.
called rework.
That was some rework in there, yeah. I saw that too, and I was like, very, only the finest technology. So this is,
So this does have a direction, right? Here's the input, here's the output.
yes, you have to get it right, otherwise it won't work.
Okay.
Ins must go in, outs must go out. And so when you chain these together.
Otherwise you have traffic accidents.
Yeah, well, actually, these must be wired in the right order, otherwise they will not work. And by the way, the whole string will stop working. Well, of course,
Oh, yeah,
it's like
yeah,
Christmas tree lights.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So we now have our demo. I did not bring my LEDs. I left them in the house.
Oh.
And so this is the vibration, as you can see. I will continue to change the pattern as we hit the, and this is just a very low technology. It's actually not a capacitor. It's
That's
actually,
not a capacitor.
no, it's actually
This
different.
is
It's a
a
spring
vibrate.
inside of a can, and when you bounce it, it just
No
vibrates.
kidding.
There's just a little tiny spring in there.
It
And
is.
so when you vibrate it, so it is a lack of technology. It's just, it is
It
literally
looks
just.
like a capacitor can, but you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, it almost looks like heat shrink.
So when you put that in the shoes, the button, how do you power this stuff?
Well, that's actually one of
The
the
battery.
challenges we have is you're gonna have to use a LiPo battery or a battery pack. A double A battery pack. And
Oh, well, that's not
And then
too
you're gonna have
bad.
to, you probably want to Velcro that on your ankle. You just have the wires go into it. Remember, I'm not a fan of things that explode. And having a LiPo on your ankle is just,
Maybe
it's
a
bad enough that I
charger?
have one in my pocket in my phone.
Did you have a battery?
Yeah, there's a black, I didn't bring any batteries, it's just a black battery pack.
Can you do the charger
So
on
like
it?
this one?
Yes,
That's
yeah, so
good,
this
yeah.
is,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
the safe version.
Rechargeable battery.
Yes,
And
yes.
then to work on this.
This is the safe version, so you can put 3 batteries in this fine
Oh,
product,
this is a
and it will
little-
plug right in, and you will have enough power for a while.
Those are AAA's.
Yeah,
Triple A,
yeah,
have to
AAA,
be
sorry,
3.
Yep,
So we could do nickel metal hydride.
yeah, you can do that, as
And
long as you
it'll be
keep the,
rechargeable.
yeah, as
Yeah.
long as you keep the voltage in the right range of around 5 volts.
Okay.
For these. So, now these do not have chargers. That would mean the Gammas do not have chargers on them. I didn't. So when I come back, I won't be here next week because I'm in Michigan. But I will. I have the Lady Ada cells, the complicated stuff where you can actually build the rechargeable LiPo battery and then plug all this stuff together. And so you can then actually have a shoe that you can plug in
Yeah.
to charge.
Yeah.
The other thing I was wondering about
Like
is
your
shoes.
now the
Yeah, like charging
the one that I
phone.
actually like, and I haven't done that homework on. She has the coils. She's got inductive a set of inductive stuff. So I thought that would be more fun, is to put a inductive coil in the bottom of the shoe, and you set it on top of a inductive charger. So you don't ever plug it in. That would be really cool.
That would be.
Yeah.
And so I might, I checked that they have them. So I might have to pick up. I've
It's a
always,
magnet then that,
what you do is you plug the one part of it into the wall,
Yeah.
and that creates the induction, and then you put the other,
Kinda
and the
like
other,
the
and the
watch
other
charger.
one charges, and they will charge up at, like, she's got examples how to charge a LiPo battery, but not explode it. Yeah, and their stuff, they've got some. So I'll look at that, but yeah, that's the one I was thinking would be really cool, is that you put the battery, still put the LiPo battery with the bomb on your ankle, But at least you wouldn't manually be plugging in and out anymore. So
What's our, is it power that's our advantage from LiPo over nickel metal hydride?
they're just rechargeable, easy.
Easy.
That's why everybody likes it. That's why they're in your phones and stuff like that. And why and because they explode, they're not allowed in airplanes anymore. But your phone is.
Yes.
Anyways.
What?
The onion.
We didn't hear about the Samsung problem note.
No,
They
what's
were
the problem?
exploding.
No.
No.
Yeah, they were exploding. They wouldn't allow them on airplanes for
Yeah, they
that
wouldn't.
version.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you shorten the problem is they would get some wear in them and they would short a LiPo battery. It's a very exciting.
But we didn't have that issue with iPads, right?
No, they didn't, because they didn't have the wear problem. Yes, they just got warm, really warm. Anyways,
That's
so
usually a
so
nice
we've
sign.
got, so for today's thing, we also got a Flora, and I will tell you that the
this was
Flora
good
was
then.
really helpful, because I showed it to this circuit here, and that I was gonna go use this instead,
And that one started working.
and that one started working. So I recommend you use these as a threat. And these are the original hardware they used for the
See,
project.
so this one needed the big one to scale, then it starts working.
That's right, and that, yeah, it had nothing to do with me wiring it correctly. Oh, and then this is just something I just like. A crazy thing that Lady Ada came up with is she made a round circuit of the for
These
the
guys.
NeoPixels, and these are really fun to play with. People put them on cameras for white light and things like that, and they can adjust the
yeah.
light up and
Oh,
down.
fun.
And so, because these things are, by the way, this little pack here, this is at 1/3 brightness. Would you like to see it at full brightness?
Oh, okay, let me back up.
Let's go adjust the code.
Oh, then it's always.
See, I want to make this an Iron Man
Oh, yeah.
or earrings
Oh, yeah.
What was the
The
other one?
hoop earrings.
Oh, actually,
Or
that
necklace.
is at full brightness.
So how?
We'll show you half brightness.
So this one now, it is the lights all the time is on, and you say that they only like 2 of them at a time. So this means this time it is you like a fresh.
Well, actually, they said that they're lighting them all up, and I don't actually know how they pull that off. Because they shouldn't be enough power to do it, but they managed to do it. They said you could light, they said that this thing could light 60.
60.
Wow.
It said 60. I'm not sure that my Apple would stay running very long, but because it's powering right now. But I don't know how long your LiPo battery would last right after that. But yeah, they could light up 60. Let's see, that would be about 5 feet of
Of the strips.
Yeah.
How many function in one?
I'm sorry.
Function like sometimes they can do only bling or change color
It's
or
whatever
flash.
you
it.
actually
Yeah.
you actually program it,
Whatever.
Oh,
and
okay.
and then what you do is it will remain. Actually, we can see that in the code here. If you look in the
That's
code,
what you did.
right here, you'll
How
see that
this
there is
first
a.
Not wrong.
Let's see. There's all these settings here, but this code is nice, friendly. Yeah, so somewhere in here is the show, and what you do is you write to each one of these individually
Yeah.
because there's a controller in each one of them. Not that there's a lot of technology here. Each one of these is a microprocessor, and so you're
Well,
feeding.
that's how they can
Yeah.
get,
You have 2 modes. You can do live mode, so every time you tell it to change, it will change. Or what they're currently running, you can see I keep bouncing that. What they're currently running is show mode. So they go through and they tell
Yeah.
everywhere the pixels show. And they said the refresh rate was a bit problematic, so that's why they did that. There's actually comments in the code explaining all of it. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with these microprograms.
oh, you
Usually they don't have
mean
any
that they
information in there.
actually put comments in there so
Yeah.
people would
You can
know
see-
what was
you can
going
see-
on?
Find the bugs.
And so the gal who
Is
did
that a waste space? You only have a 1K?
yeah, there is no way to improve it. Well, if you want more space, you use a bigger machine.
That one look much better.
Yeah, a bigger one. Yes.
This one's like.
That's the one he threatened that one with.
Yes. And so I hope it's been useful and educational. And if you're all
You're
wondering,
right.
I brought my figures in here just so that you can see that as a hobby, I work on the small things, which explains how I was able to solder that.
Wow.
So
That's very
you have
small.
a nice,
Look at
big
that.
magnifier.
No, actually, it's right
Here,
here.
we're gonna show this.
Oh, it's only, really?
How do you put it on?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is this one
Oh,
bold?
yeah, yeah, look, right down
So
here.
you made that?
Yeah, I painted it. I didn't make it. That was my explanation of how I could, and for our friends.
Yes.
Do you need special, do these glasses help you see?
Yeah, there's magnifiers in the bottom.
Yes, there are three.
Very small.
Maybe-
Yes, and so why don't we, and so I think we've come to the end of the presentation. We have hardware things to